Look down at your hands right now, not quickly. Actually, look, because you already know whether your nails are done or not without checking, the same way you know whether you've eaten or slept or done something important that day. It's that present in your awareness. When they're done, filed, painted exactly as they should be, there's a background hum of quiet satisfaction that you probably don't even register consciously anymore because it's become the baseline, the normal, the way things are supposed to feel. But when they're not done, when the polish is chipping or grown out or simply absent, something is slightly off, not catastrophically, just enough. Enough that you notice it every time your hands are in your field of vision, which is constantly, which means the feeling follows you through the entire day like a small, persistent reminder that something needs attending to. Most people would call this vanity, a superficial fixation on something that genuinely doesn't matter. But most people are not paying attention to what's actually happening because the manicure was never really about your nails. It was about your hands and what your hands mean to you. Your hands are the most visible part of your body in daily life. They are in front of you constantly. They appear in every meeting, every conversation, every moment when you reach for something or gesture while speaking or rest on a table while someone is talking to you. They are the part of you that you see more than any other part, including your face, which means the way your hands look is not a small vanity. It is the visual experience of yourself that you live inside every single day. And choosing to make that experience a good one, intentional, cared for, finished, is not superficial. It is an act of sustained self respect that most people who don't do it will never fully understand. There is something about the appointment itself that matters separately from the result. The hour, or however long it takes, where you sit and someone tends to your hands, and the only thing required of you is to be still. This is rarer than it sounds. Your hands are usually working, typing, carrying, cooking, holding, doing the thousand small physical tasks that make up a day of being a functional person in the world. The manicure is the moment your hands get to be attended to instead of attending. There's a specific quality of rest in that which is different from other kinds of rest. Because it is rest with a visible outcome, you arrive with hands that need something and you leave with hands that are finished, complete, ready. That completeness is its own reward, separate from the aesthetic. Control is part of this, and it's worth sitting with honestly. Life presents you constantly with things you cannot fix, cannot determine, cannot make neat and resolved, no matter how much effort you put in. Relationships that stay complicated, work situations that don't resolve cleanly, feelings that don't respond to logic. But your nails, the shape of them, the color, the finish, how long they are, what they say about who you feel like being this month. These are entirely yours to decide. No one else has a vote. The decision is made on your terms, in your time, and the result is exactly what you chose. In a life where genuine autonomy is rarer than it should be, that small, complete control over one small visible thing produces a psychological satisfaction that is entirely disproportionate to the size of the decision, and you feel it every time you look down. The color deserves its own attention because it is never just a color. You know this already. The choice of what goes on your nails in any given week is a mood red and a self-statement simultaneously. The deep burgundy you reach for in October is not the same as the barely there nude you wear when you need to feel understated and professional and invisible in the best possible way. The bright red is a decision made on a specific kind of morning, a morning where you need to feel like someone who takes up space without apology. The soft pink is something else entirely, quieter, more tender, the color of a version of yourself that is allowing herself to be a little soft this week. You are not choosing a color, you are choosing a version of yourself that you want to inhabit for the next 10 days, and you wear it on the most visible part of your body so that you are reminded of that choice every single time you look down. There is also something about being seen in the details that matters deeply to women who maintain their manicure without fail. You are someone who notices details in other people, in spaces, in the texture of situations. And you understand instinctively that details are where the truth lives, not in the grand gestures, but in the small, consistent ones. The woman whose nails are always done is communicating something that she may not say out loud, but that she feels completely, that she is someone who takes care of herself all the way down to the edges, that her self presentation is not an accident or a performance reserved for special occasions, but a sustained, daily practice. That she shows up finished not just when it counts, but always, because always is when it counts to her. And yes, sometimes the manicure is armor, the specific, deliberate armor of a woman walking into something difficult, a hard conversation, an interview, a room where she needs to feel completely solid inside herself before she opens the door. You've sat in waiting rooms with your hands folded in your lap and taken quiet comfort in how they looked, not because the other people in the room were admiring them, because you were, because looking down and seeing your hands looking exactly right gave you something to stand on internally when the external situation was uncertain. That is not a small thing. That is a woman giving herself what she needs with the tools available to her, which is what women have always done. The ritual of maintenance matters too, the part between appointments that requires its own kind of attention, the top coat every few days, the cuticle oil that you keep on your desk and at your bedside and somewhere in your bag, the noticing when something needs fixing, and the attending to it before it becomes something you'd rather not look at. This sustained maintenance is its own form of relationship with your own hands, with your own presentation, with the version of yourself that you've decided is worth keeping up. Women who let their manicure go completely are not less put together as people, but women who don't, who maintain it consistently, who treat the upkeep as a non negotiable, are practicing a specific form of self regard that extends into the rest of how they live. The care you show your nails is usually the care you show yourself in general. Consistent, unhurried, present to the details that other people might not notice, but that you notice, because you are someone who pays that quality of attention to the things that matter to you. What lives underneath all of this, the appointments, the colors, the top coat, the quiet satisfaction of hands that are done, is something that takes a moment to name, but that you will recognize immediately. It is the experience of being someone who keeps her word to herself. You said you would take care of yourself. You said your presentation matters, that you are worth the effort, that showing up well is something you do not only when you have the time and the energy, but as a baseline, as a standard, as something that does not get negotiated away when the week gets hard. And the manicure is the most visible proof of that promise kept. It is there every time you look down. Quiet, consistent, exactly as it should be. That is not vanity. That is a woman who decided a long time ago that she deserves to feel finished and who has shown up for that decision two hands at a time every single week since.